Okay, then or in classification of any other topics, whether in simple a test is the assessment to know whether the student has gained knowledge or not. Okay, so in simple that is a test. Now coming to characteristics of test, I have in my introduction I have said that standardized tests need, they have already done validity, reliability. Okay, so now what is, it is written characteristic of test. The first one is valid. Okay, a test has to be valid. So what is valid? Valid means the test examines what it intends to examine. Okay, suppose now I want to examine whether you have gained knowledge on, say, standardized test. But the test that I have constructed is actually examining the knowledge of some other topic. That means the test is not valid. Okay. Next is reliable. Reliable means the test has to be made in such a way that it can be used for everyone. Okay, in any given situation. For example, I made a test and suppose four of you are in one class and the test has to be equal for everybody, all four of you. It's not like it tests only one person's knowledge. Okay, it has to test or assess the knowledge of all four of you. That is the meaning of reliable. Okay, next is practical. So we all know a test has to be practical. Okay, next it has to be comprehensive. It cannot be too lengthy or it cannot be too short. Next, it has to be relevant. As I have already said, relevant means it has to test whatever the teacher wants to test. It has to be relevant with the syllabus or the subject. Okay. In continuation, appropriate in difficulty. A test cannot be too difficult or too easy. It has to be appropriate in difficulty so that it measures the knowledge of the student or the skills of the students adequately. Okay? Clear. Clear means in language as well as the clarity of the content. Okay? It has to be clear. It cannot, the language, if somebody is using very unclear language, then you cannot. Suppose you all are English medium but the test came in Assamese medium, so that is not clear, right? And the handwriting, somebody, you might write and conduct a case or conduct a test, right? So if the handwriting is not legit, again it will be unclear. Okay, so a test has to be clear, and what subject matter is given, it has to be clear. Okay, next it has to be authentic. Okay, authentic meaning, I hope you all know, means same, it has to be valid. Okay, and we have to see whether this test can be used with the students or not. Appropriate for time. Now suppose, let me give an example. For this year, our MSc nursing batch second year, usually we have exam for 3 hours, right? But this time the INC, okay, our nursing council has said that we can conduct exam only for 2 hours because of this pandemic. Okay, now since the exam will be conducted only for 2 hours, we cannot give the pattern same as before, right? If we give the pattern same as before, the students will not be able to complete within 2 hours. So that means appropriate for time. If we are making a test for 2 hours, we'll have to see that the students will be able to finish the test within 2 hours. Okay, so that is the meaning of appropriate for time. Objectives or objective. A test should be made in such a way so that it is objective, means it is free from bias. I hope you all know what is bias. So it has to be free from bias. We will have to make the test in such a way that whoever corrects the test or whoever checks your paper, no one will be biased and the students will get the marks they deserve. Okay. Next, it has to be economical. It has to be cost effective. Okay. You all understood the characteristics of test? Next, types of test. So there will be written test. Usually when we say test, we consider it as written test. Okay. So there are two types of tests, standardized and non-standardized tests. I have already explained about standardized and non-standardized tests. We'll go into detail from the next slide. Okay. So in non-standardized tests, again, there is free response and restricted or fixed response. Okay. So can anybody give me one example of free response? Can you understand by the term free response?
Feedback.
Okay, feedback. Anybody? Okay, free response are those type of tests in which you are free to respond anyhow you want. Okay, for example, long answer, essay type. Essay type, they will ask about, suppose, explain about the types of tests. You are free to write however you want. Okay, it does not have to be how the book is, how it is written in book. Okay, it depends on you how you construct your answer, how you write your answer.